You had a dream, you believed it, fought for it, you lost sleep over it, you prayed over it, and then one day it crumbled in front of you. Now you're left wondering, was it all for nothing? If you've ever felt the heartbreak of watching something you built fall apart, this video is for you, not to pity you, but to remind you that pain is not the end of your story. In fact, it might be the beginning of something far greater. You ask yourself, how did it come to this? You started with passion, with purpose. You believed your dream had God's blessing. You gave it your time, your strength, your trust, and now you're standing in the rubble, wondering if you were ever meant to build anything at all. That kind of pain hits differently. It makes you question everything, your calling, your faith, even your worth. And yet this might be the moment where your real story begins. Because here's the truth. Faith doesn't guarantee a straight path. It guarantees a solid foundation. Dreams can die, plans can fail, but God remains. Proverbs 19:21 says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails." Maybe what you lost wasn't your dream, but the version of it that had to be broken so something better could rise. You see, sometimes God lets a dream die, not to punish you, but to prepare you, to strip away pride, dependence on people, or timelines that were never part of his plan. He allows certain endings, so we'll stop trusting in outcomes and start trusting in him. Think of Joseph. He dreamed of leadership, honor, influence, but first he was betrayed, sold, imprisoned, and forgotten. From the outside, it looked like failure. But in God's eyes, it was formation, and in the end, his dream came to life, but not in the way he expected. It was bigger, deeper, more impactful. Or David, anointed to be king, yet chased into caves, hunted like a criminal. He spent years hiding, alone, discouraged. But God was shaping him, teaching him how to lead, how to suffer, how to trust. And when the time came, David wasn't just ready, he was refined. God doesn't waste pain. Not a single tear, not a single night of doubt, not a single failed attempt. Everything the enemy meant to use against you, God can use to strengthen you. But you have to keep walking, even when the road doesn't make sense, even when your heart is tired. Isaiah 40:31 reminds us, "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint." It doesn't say the wait will be easy, but it promises you won't be alone in it. Sometimes we think faith means success, comfort, and constant affirmation, but real faith shows up when nothing is working and you still whisper, "God, I trust you." That's where power lives. That's where resurrection begins. If your dream has died, let yourself grieve, but don't stay there. Don't pitch a tent in the graveyard of what could have been. God is still the God of the impossible, the God of new beginnings, the God who brings life to dead things. The same Jesus who stood outside the tomb of Lazarus still speaks to broken hearts and forgotten dreams. And when he calls something to rise, no grave can hold it. That includes you. This isn't your end. This is your turning point, the moment where your faith moves from theory to reality, the moment where you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start declaring, "What is God preparing in me?" You were never called to be comfortable. You were called to be courageous, to believe even when you can't see, to keep walking when the path disappears, to stand in the ruins and still raise your hands in worship. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." That's not just encouragement, that's a promise from the God who keeps every word he speaks. So hold on, cry if you need to, rest if you must, but don't let go of your faith. Don't let the death of a dream convince you that you were a failure. You are not. You are in process, and the one writing your story has never left the pen. Your dream may have died, but your purpose hasn't, your hope hasn't, and your God hasn't. The pain is real, but so is the promise, and what's coming next will be worth every second you held on. You're not forgotten. You're not finished. What feels like the end could be the very ground where new things grow. If this spoke to you, don't walk away in silence. Comment below, "I'm still standing." Let the world know your faith isn't dead, just like your purpose. Subscribe for more truth that lifts you out of your lowest days and reminds you who you are. And always remember, even when your dream dies, God's not done.